Order of operations. So when you are calculating something like this, for example, it's really tempting to just jump right in and go left to right because we read left to right. But that's not quite how it works. So we use something called the order of operations. And you might have seen this before. PEMDAS, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. It's been around for a while. So this tells you what to do first. So the first thing that we do is we work with the parentheses. So we do whatever is inside parentheses. The next thing we work with are the exponents. We solve any exponents. The next thing is multiplication and division. You might be like, and what? Don't we do one first? Yeah, but when you have multiplication and division, the way you decide which to do is left to right. Which one comes first, going left to right? And then we have addition and subtraction. And addition and subtraction, same deal. Which one do I do first? Well, you go from left to right. So you're going to use this as a sort of checklist as you move through problems like these. And eventually you won't really need it because you'll just kind of know, but it's nice to have it first. So the first thing we do is solve anything in parentheses. Well, I see some parentheses. I see parentheses right here. And I see parentheses here, but there's nothing to be done inside of them. It's just the number 6. So I'm going to stick with this. So I have 10 minus 3. 10 minus 3 is 7. So I'm going to rewrite. I have 4 times, now I have set just 7. If you've forgotten, parentheses like this next to another value just means multiplication. 4 times 7 minus 5 times 6 plus 8 divided by 2. There's my parentheses. And then I look for exponents. There are no exponents. Okay, we can go to multiplication and division. So multiplication, division, I see multiplication and I see division. But remember, we know what to do first by going left to right. So we'll start over here. 4 times 7 is 28. And then we have negative 5 times 6, negative 30. Plus 8 divided by 2, which is 4. So we've now completed our multiplication as well as our division. The next thing we'll do is, according to PEMDAS, addition and subtraction from left to right. So we'll start with 28 minus 30, which would be negative 2. I'm kind of imagining my number line maybe. Plus 4. Negative 2 plus 4 would be 2. So the final answer here, all of this simplified according to PEMDAS, is 2. Another sample, have some exponents in it, would be something like this. And I like to write on the corner of my paper when I'm kind of reviewing it, or I know definitely when I was just learning, this. Okay, so we're going to start with parentheses. Do we see any parentheses? Yes. So I have 7 minus 3, and 7 minus 3 would be 4. So I have negative 4 squared plus the 4 is going to stay in those parentheses because look, it is squared. Minus, so when we're doing parentheses, we can also work with these, which are called absolute value signs or symbols. So in absolute value symbols, all it does is whatever is inside here, it just changes to positive. So negative 2 would become a 2. All right, next thing we have are exponents, and we have a couple of those. And we're going to be really careful here. And if you've kind of forgotten about, well, what's the difference between having parentheses around a negative base like this or not, you can go back to my video on exponents with negative bases. So here we have negative and then 4 squared. The negative does not belong to the 4. I'm going to do 4 squared, which is 16, and then add back the negative at the end. Plus, here I have 4 squared, which would be positive 16, and then minus 2. Multiplication and division, don't see any of that. Addition and subtraction, sure do. Negative 16 plus 16, well, that's actually a 0 pair. Those cancel out. That's kind of nice. And we just are left with a negative 2.